Samaran, guys. Hope everyone is well. So Izolo, was it Izolo? Maybe a couple of days ago, I'd be lying. This guy on Twitter, on X, sorry, his handle is at SK1T Guru Ulu. He tweeted something. So he said, the phase where you slowly start hating your girlfriend is crazy. So he tweets that, and obviously different people comment, blah, blah, blah. And like after a while, you start seeing what X does well, and they start attacking him, and yeah, now he was just trying to say, Guti, we go through a phase with our partners where we kind of misalign, and it feels as if the journeys that we are walking start moving. And it feels like they're going east and I'm going west. But what was actually crazy was the follow-up tweet. So the follow-up tweet was by the Salt of the Earth, and he was trying to unpack his interpretation. So if you guys will just allow me, I'm going to try and read it, and as I read his review of the tweet, I'm going to review his review. Yeah. So his topic is called Most Men Hate Their Woman. So a woman got enraged over a tweet where a tweet that went something like this: that phase where you start slowly hating your girlfriend is crazy. Let me just bring my laptop a bit closer. Without even understanding what leads a man to feel that over his woman. And what it really means isn't that a man literally hates his woman. Rather, he hates what his woman has become. Woo! He's hating what his woman has become. So it's not witty, Sissy, we hate you. We're just hating what you've become. And many men are in such situations. They don't literally hate their woman. But with that, what has become of their woman, and it mainly stems from the mental abuse these women put their men through. Almost every man out there in a relationship with a woman is dealing with mental abuse. Very bold statement, but there's a lot of truth in that. I'm not purely limiting it to hating your woman because of the mental abuse, and he's chosen to go down this way. Sometimes, again, we just see things differently. We grow in different directions. Sometimes you become more career focused. Sometimes you become more for the streets. Sometimes you angaz, but it no longer aligns with me, and I hate what you're becoming. So Loputi has focused on the mental part and the mental abuse that some of the sisters put their men through. So can we just continue on that? Yes, a lot of men are in what is defined as pins and needles relationships. I love that, pins and needles relationships. A pins and needles relationship is where you're constantly on alert, being conscious of what you do and what you say, so that you don't upset, or even when she's wrong, you just don't want to upset her. A lot of men would rather avoid getting their woman upset than confronting her with the truth. A lot of people in general hate having hard conversations. They hate the awkwardness. They hate it. Now imagine in a house environment where there's a person that you love and there's things that she's doing that you don't approve of. Let's say she's dressed a certain way. The moment you bring that up, yes, sus. Yes, sus, we are controller. We are yeah. So then he goes, no, sharp. You know what? I'm actually not going to entertain this. I'm not going to be part of this conversation. I'm not even going to bring it up. So she can be dressed with a coochie like falling out her pants, but it's fine, because if I say something, I'm going to be the chauvinist. I'm going to be Mr. Controlling. I'm going to be negative. I'm going to be this. I'd rather not even get there, because she's going to get upset. She's going to get angry, and it's going to cause a huge fight. So a lot of those things I understand and I can relate when it comes to relationships and guys holding back and not wanting to have those hard conversations. This is because she's constantly gotten angry or punished him in some form, which, e.g., denies him sex or gives him the silent treatment, because he has spoken up against her behavior, questioned her, required submission from her, or simply stood up for himself. Women weaponize intimacy. They weaponize sex. This is a fact. This is a fact. In a relationship, if you are washing the dishes and buying flowers, what she does as a pat in the back is give you a bit of bum. Come, boy. come get some bum. You've done well. Like, think of Pavlov's dog or whatever operative conditioning that you can think of. That's what women do with sex. They withhold it if you are behaving in a way that doesn't suit her narrative. And if you're behaving well, then she'll give you a bit of bum. So, again, I hate the fact that so many females weaponize sex. I hate it. Imagine if you are in a stereotypical relationship, let's just say, and the man is the one who's bringing the bulk of the financial carrying the bulk of the financial load. The moment he withholds that, do you know what the term of that? That's called financial abuse. There's many women who've taken men to court for financially being abusive. He's controlling, he's financially abusive. Sisters do that all the time with sex because they understand what sex is for men. It's not the same as it is for women. Please understand that. Women don't buy sex at strip clubs or at brothels. Women aren't the ones that are taking gents to these bars and these shisanyamas, buying them bottles to get sex. Women aren't the ones that are manipulating guys to get sex. Women aren't raping men to get sex. The way that men view sex is not the same as how women view sex. Men will do everything to bust a nut. And the moment he's in a loving relationship, he understands the power of it here, because if he steps outside to get it, he's fucked. So he needs to ensure he conforms to whatever rules that she has so that she can reward him. Again, or you get the silent treatment. Women, that's their way to fight, become passive aggressive. It's whatever, it's okay. It's whatever, it's okay. It's fine. Being passive aggressive, that doesn't deal with shit. So again, you find yourself in that space because you're being punished. So you won't question her behavior. You won't bring something up that bothers you. You won't ask for too much. Hey, baby, please can you serve a good lang a tray? Yo, who do you think I am? So it becomes one of those things. The result is that the man surrenders. All he does is simply, all he now does is simply trying to get by and not anger her. She has psychologically weakened him by constant arguing, temper tantrums, and isolation techniques. At this point, he hates what has become of his woman. But at the same time, because he's still in love with the idea of who she used to be, he remains in that relationship, hoping she realizes the errors of her ways. And woman will break a man down. It can take her 6 months, 2 years, 10 years. She will break that man down and she will make him weak. And next thing they're wearing matching clothes at weddings, and next thing they're chopping onions together, and she will do everything she can to make sure Uguti, this fucking pit bull of an animal, becomes her lapdog. It's crazy when you see it. We see it as gents all the time, where we see this fucking monster of a man that was the man of men and we respected, all of a sudden become his woman's lapdog, and he's broken. To cope with the situation, he finds escapism in other things. Sometimes it's alcohol. Yes, that guy that refuses to go home at the bar. Sometimes he's trying to avoid an emotionally abusive woman back at home. Some sink themselves in work. By the time they get back home, they're too tired to argue. And then they go straight to sleep. And some turn into side chicks. Yes, most women push their men into the arms of side chicks. I don't agree with the last line where most women push. I think with most women's behavior makes him start seeing other spaces. So let's take accountability as gents. Ogoti, look, she's behaving in a toxic way, but it can't be an eye for an eye. You have chosen to move in this space. And a lot of side chicks have literally held homes together, because again, you are angry at home, you go to Sis Noctula. Sis Noctula makes you feel good. She gives you some balm, she dishally platey. You get home, you get that silent treatment. There's no food. If you want to have anything, you think it's brown, near ram, and the bed, she's faced that way now. But at least what's on grand, Sis Noctula made me 7 colors, gave me a bit of bumage here. She said, okay, on your way. So God bless those sisters that have really helped pull umshate together. And if your marriage is still tight, Sis Noctula. That's us. Don't pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's sad because a lot of guys do run to the bottle. A lot of the guys do drown in work. It's horrible. There's a reason why a majority of suicides by men are done by men, and most disturbing part is mainly married men or those in serious relationships. I've said this I don't know how many times. 4 out of every 5 suicides in South Africa are men, and the bulk of that, I think the stats here, correct me if I'm wrong, over 70% of those suicides, the male suicides, are men in relationships, long-term committed relationships. It gets too heavy, it gets too much. Your family never lets you become Clark Kent. They just want Superman. They just want Spider-Man. They don't want Peter Parker. So you can't say anything. You need to step up every day, 24 fucking 7, 365. You don't have a day off. And if you do, then shit hits the fan. So the suicide one is something that's very dear to me, and I've done many videos about that, so please just check them out. The reason why men endure such emotional abuse from their women is because they've been programmed to rationalize a woman's insults, put down stubbornness, moods, and her bad attitude. Yeah. He goes into explaining this. Apparently, it's normal. You always hear this. If your woman isn't nagging, difficult, moody, or arguing with you, she doesn't really love you. This is called rationalization. A coping mechanism which controversial behaviors or feelings are justified and explained in a seemingly rational or logical manner to avoid the true explanation, and are made constantly tolerated, and even admired. Fuck. Think of the shows that we grew up watching. Let's say My Wife and Kids, because I use reference to that. And think of Uche, that is married to Michael. Uche is catty. She's, when she wants something, she nags, Michael, I want this, Michael. And she's pushy and she's what. And that has been normalized. And a lot of our sisters have that conditioning in their mind because you grew up watching it. You grew up watching these shows where when the wife wanted something that she knew was maybe out of budget, a handbag or a trip here, when she knew that she was doing something wrong, she'd nag, oh my god, she'd always nag. But there'd be differences where when she becomes this pushy, moody, you're going to get this, and we've normalized it. It's normal, to a point where if that doesn't happen, she doesn't love you. Fuck that. That's actually, that's such a deep, just that little thing again. But my brothers, I get this. Keeping the peace, but not at the expense of your sanity. An emotionally abused woman will sink a man straight into depression and lead him to early grave. Yeah, man, you're trying to keep the peace. You're trying to be like a happy wife is a happy life bullshit. At the expense of yourself, guys. Many guys are walking around depressed. Many, with big smiles on their fucking faces. Many married guys, family guys with kids, walking around with big fucking smiles, but they're depressed. They're dying inside. You make them read this, especially in front of the wife, they'll be like, no, man, this guy's talking bullshit. Meanwhile, in his heart, he knows what he's fucking dying. If you can't have healthy conversations, disagreements, or expressing your opinions without your woman flipping out and penalizing you in some way, you're in an abusive relationship. Walk away from that woman. Even if you love her, love yourself more. Then his last line is, learn or perish. Yeah, man, the salt of the earth. Whatever, something nice. Deep. Like the way that he fucking unpacked this was just amazing. He chose to unpack it via the hating your woman because of the emotional and mental abuse. There's many different things. You hate the woman that she's become. All of a sudden on Instagram she's showing titties and booty, trying to get that validation. You hate that. When she's here at home, there's weaves on the floor. She looks like a fucking cheetah. Here at home, titties are just but out to the world she's presenting the best version of herself. Imagine that. Imagine me giving the best of myself into the world, and then my kids and my family seeing the shittest part of me, of which they do see the shittest part of me. But how unfair is the fact that the world gets to see the best version of me, and here they get to see the shittest. If you want to see the shittest, best believe I need to give you the best side of me as well. Out there in the world, very reserved. When you might think it's, nah, fam. Out there in the world, if I'm going to buy you a drink, say, listen, van. Here, I must make sure to pop my away. Because it just makes sense to me. Some of the ladies are going out to look so amazing out there, and then look trash for her man. Look absolute trash for her man 24/7. She's trash for her man. But out there on Instagram, she looks plickety plow, amazing. Titties up there, hair did, makeup did, for her man that she says she loves more than anyone. She's just doing the bare fucking minimum. So I understand hating a woman in that front. Some women become aggressively career focused for whatever reason, ambition, whatever. I hate that. All of a sudden at work, you coming back at 6:30. You're coming back at 6:30 every single day. You leave here at 6, you come back at 6:30. You leave at 6. By the time you get here, like, we tired. There's not, you come, every time you come back, and I've already had McDonald's. What's the point? I've already made myself my noodles. What's the point? What are we doing? So I hate what you have become. I don't hate you. I hate what you become. There's many incidents, where it's those things where Amachita slowly start hating their person, and it's crazy. And sometimes, because we grew up being told, "Would you never leave a girl?" Sometimes guys try and jeopardize the relationship, and then they deliberately start cheating messy. You know, they deliberately want to be caught that they're cheating so that the girl can leave her. Just a little footnote: the reason why we were taught that a man never leaves a woman is not the whole polygamy, what men. No, it's because it was always done to keep the woman, her view of herself, or her pride in check, that she dumped him. My understanding was, if you dump a woman, she internalizes it. And she says, "What's wrong with me? Clearly I'm wrong here. I'm wrong here. I'm wrong here." But if she dumps you, then it's you who's trash. And Tina, as guys, we were told, "Look, you can handle that because you're the hunter." So if you miss one, it's cool. Whereas her, it's different. So that was the rationale behind how we were taught. With that being said, guys, like, I don't understand the woman's perspective, so maybe some of the sisters can write in the comments. I'm just talking from the guys and my walk and the guys that I've spoken to. So it's a crazy time when you start hating the woman your partner has become. Anyways, have yourselves a fantastic day. Ngiyantanda, ibe great.